Okay, let me try to speak at least a few minutes on Mula Vidya Nirasa. Okay. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. One point we were discussing in this is the opposition between light and darkness. So Purva Pakshi dragged the point. That means he tried to explain that darkness is not simply absence of light, but it is an another entity opposite to darkness, another positive entity. Darkness is another positive entity. Another positive entity which is opposite to light. So on this point that it is opposite to light, see the point. It is opposite to light, therefore it is another additional entity, another entity apart from light. It is another additional entity, positive entity opposite to darkness. So on the basis of opposition, between light and darkness, Purva Pakshi wants to say, on the basis of opposition, that darkness is a positive entity. Siddhanti asked the question, how do you show, how do you prove the opposition? In what sense you mean the opposition? Then Purva Pakshi has taken few stands. And one by one, Siddhanti refuted all of them, because each opposition the Purva Pakshi shows is some of them going against Anubhava, common sense. Some of his arguments go against his own theory, his own Siddhanta, his own doctrine. Some of them go against his own doctrine, some of them go against a common sense experience. At one point he says, like a individual member and a class, jati, vyakti, just as there is an opposition between an individual member and a jati. Similarly here it is an opposition. The Siddhanti, that is Swamiji, replied, a member and its class are not opposite. In fact, member and its class are not separate. Dog and dog species, okay, man and human species are not two separate things. So don't talk of their opposition between them because they are the same. One you are looking as an individual, another you are looking in a general sense. Okay? Two standpoint, two ways of looking. One you are looking in a general sense, another you are looking at a given individual specific thing. A specific thing and a general thing, that's all. It is only your way of looking, they are not two things. Therefore, you can't talk of the opposition between them. Like this, he he has refutes point by point all of them. The opposition, there is an opposition, no doubt, but taking the opposition as a basis, you can't prove darkness as another separate positive entity which can be put adjacent to light. They says it can be adjacent to light. It can coexist with light. The main difficulty with them is, one side they talk of coexistence of darkness with light. Again they talk of it as opposition to each other. This is really complicating the matter, because it is opposite to experience, opposite to logic, common sense and everything. Darkness coexists with light, and at the same time light is opposite to darkness. If it can coexist, where is the question of opposition? But Siddhanti's idea of the nature of opposition, which Vedantin has accepted, is that they cannot coexist. That is as simple as this. Darkness cannot coexist with light. Similarly, ignorance cannot coexist with knowledge. So then what is opposition? This is opposition. That they cannot coexist itself is the opposition. Because where there is a light, there is no darkness. When there is no darkness, when there is no light. So they are mutually opposite to each other. When one is, the other is not. Therefore we say darkness is simply the absence of light. This alone ultimately stands. It is in keeping with common sense, logical, everybody's experience, and it doesn't create any logical complications, contradictions. Logical complications means there is no contradiction. You don't have to go round and round and try to explain. And he tried to say one thing, that in the absence of light illumines the darkness. Darkness is a positive entity. Purvapakshi told, darkness is a positive entity which light does not illumine. The absence of light illumines. Absence of light illumining, does it make any sense? So this is what illogicality. Illogicality means it goes against the common sense experience. Absence of light illumining the darkness. Is absence of light a substance that it can illumine something? To illumine, to be able to illumine, it should exist first. To be able to illumine, it should exist first. Does the absence of light exist first? Does the absence of light exist in order to be able to illumine something? He says, absence of light illumines the darkness. So once you assume one illogical point against your experience, then in order to defend it, you end up making more illogical, more mistakes, more contradictions. More logical mistakes, more contradictions you end up making once you assume the one wrong point. Therefore, why? Just a minute. Why assume? Wait a minute. Okay. One mistake, if you assume a wrong things, illogical thing, in order to defend it, you end up making more logical mistakes, more contradictions. Okay, that is why the simple, straight, universal experience is darkness is a simple absence of light. So, tadevam nasti yushmakam tamah prakashayor virodha siddhi. Therefore, according to Purvapakshi, he can't establish the opposition between them, light and darkness, by assuming the darkness as a separate entity. See, he wants to prove the opposition by assuming a separate entity. So, darkness is a separate entity, yet it is opposite to light. We say it is simply absence of light, therefore it is opposed. He says it is opposed, no doubt, but not as an absence of light, but as an another positive substance. But as an another positive substance. Okay. So, he is able to, Purvapakshi is able to prove neither it is a positive, neither as a positive substance, nor it is opposed. In his way, opposing in his sense. He is neither of them is able to prove. He is not able to prove darkness as a positive entity, nor is he able to prove it is opposite to light as a positive entity. Because his assumption, two assumptions. One is it is a positive entity, which is again a misreading, misunderstanding. Second is it coexists, again you say. Up one side he talks of it opposite to it. Again he says it can coexist with light. This is one more problem. Why does he accept that it coexists with it? If he does not accept its coexistence, probably he could prove it is a separate entity, positive entity he might prove, probably. But why does he accept that it should coexist? This is again against experience. That is again a misreading. It is only, I think, a unnecessary taking a wrong stand. It is again a prejudice only. That you have an interest in it, that it should coexist with light. That's because they were looking for an illustration where an opposite thing can exist with it, so that they can prove that the ignorance can exist with Jnani. Ignorance can exist with Jnani. This is a very big problem. They are unable to handle it, but still they are somehow defending with their logic. They are using lot of logic, verbose, words and going round and round, arguments. The later literature, after Shankaracharya, the post-Shankara literature is filled with these arguments. Volumes and volumes are written to defend these theories, these hypotheses. Okay, so this has complicated the issue, and then the volumes and volumes are written on either side, those who oppose it and those who defend it. Anyway, we shall leave it. Tasman nayujyate aloka viroditvat aloka bhava vyanjaniyatvam. Therefore, you can't say that it is a separate entity it is a positive entity opposite to light, at the same time coexists. Neither it is a positive entity, nor it can coexist. It is opposite, no doubt, but opposition is only because it's an absence of light. Okay. Tasman na yujyate. Okay. Ataha eva aloka abhava vyanjaniyataya tamasaha aloka nirapeksha chakshur vishayatvam iti yadapyuchyate tan nirastam. So, the absence of light, last argument, the absence of light illumines it is also wrong. Because to illumine, first thing, two things we can say. An absence of something cannot do anything. Because it itself is absent. What is absent, how can it do something? Absence of light illumines is ridiculous, meaningless. You can't say that. That's what Swamiji told. An absence of light illumining is similar to a non-existent person being born and grown up, became a king. All this doesn't make any sense when a person himself is non-existent. Non-existent person being born, grows up, fights, wins a kingdom and then coronates himself as a king of that kingdom. Does it make any sense? And he has had children and all that. When non-existent cannot be anything, you can't talk of anything about the non-existent, because non-existence is neither available for perception nor it can do some effect on others. Neither it can be affected by others nor it affects others. That means it's totally non-existent. Therefore, non-existent because absence of light. Absence of light illumining it is ridiculous, meaningless. Second thing is aloka nirapeksha chakshur vishayatvam. Eyes can see without light. Darkness is something which is perceived by the eyes without the help of light. Not without the help of light, in the absence of light. In the absence of light, the eyes can see. What eyes can see in the absence of light? So, darkness is a separate substance which is perceived in the absence of light. So, absence of light is a necessary condition for the eyes to perceive. That's what he says. For this, Swamiji's reply was, to see any color. To see any color. Form means color. In Sanskrit, rupam. Rupam is form. To perceive any substance of form, having a form. Substance having a form, they call formless. I think that English should have used formful, like beautiful. Beauty and beautiful, form and formful, they should have made it. Formful, formless, it would have been easy for our Vedantins to speak in English. Formful and formless. Such a word doesn't exist anyway. We Indians, we have created many new English words. Why can't we create one more English word? We Indians, to suit Vedanta, to suit Indian thing, Indian expressions, Indian ideas, we created many words. I don't know whether outsiders understand or not, but we created, we have readopted English into India. Just as you have got a formless, moneyed and moneyless. Okay? Moneyed and moneyless. Similarly, formed, formless, or formful, formless, something like that. Formed and formless. So, to see any substance having a form, that means a formed substance, light is inevitable. Light is inevitable. So, Rupi Pratyakshe Avashya Apekshaniyatvad Alokasya. Aloka is a must necessary it is must, it is inevitable. Most necessary means inevitable. Light is inevitable to see any substance having a form. Therefore, eyes can perceive something in the absence of light is meaningless. Okay? Eyes perceiving something means something having a form, having a color. Eyes perceiving a color in the absence of light is totally wrong. It doesn't exist. Nanavem rupavada bhavatvad aloka bhavasyapi kevala chakshur vishayatvan nasyat ghatabhavatmayam abhavasya vishesha bhavat. Therefore, he says, rupavad abhavatva nanevam rupavad abhavatvat aloka abhavasyapi kevala chakshur vishayatvam. See, if you say light, a form needs necessarily a light, he says, a form necessarily needs a light. The light is inevitable to perceive the form. When you say, then the absence of light, Purvapakshi is telling. Purvapakshi says, then the absence of light also would not have been seen by bare eyes. Aloka abhavasyapi kevala chakshur vishayatvam nasyat ghata bhavavaditi maivam. The absence of light also should not have been seen by the bare light. Absence of light should not have been seen by the bare hands, bare eyes. He says it cannot be seen. That's what we say, bare eyes can't see. Without the light, nothing. Without the light, he says, without the light, the eyes are able to see the absence of light. Now the Purvapakshi is objecting to Siddhanti's idea of absence of light. See, this is one more stand when you talk to Mula Vidya Vadins. This is the stand they take, this is the argument. Why Mula Vidya everybody takes? Muslims also talk like this only. Christian missionaries also talk like this. When we say to be able to perceive a positive substance, a light is necessary, required. Absence of light, you can't perceive anything. But he says, since you, Purvapakshi continues, since you Vedantin, since you Sachidananda Swamiji is saying that absence of light alone is darkness, then how are you able to say absence of light with your bare eyes without light? Without light you are able to see. But on what basis you say there is an absence of light? See, when we say darkness cannot be seen without light with your bare eyes, without the help of light. I repeat, darkness, if it is positive entity, if it has got a form, Siddhanti told, if darkness has a form, it cannot be seen without the light, with a bare eyes, without the help of light. Then Purvapakshi puts a counter question, but even absence of light cannot be seen with bare eyes without the help of light. Absence of light also should not be seen, should not have been seen. Okay. Absence of light also should not be seen with your bare eyes without the help of light. As if we are accepting it. See, this is true. Even absence of light cannot be seen with eyes. Neither absence of light nor so-called your positive darkness, none of them can be seen with your bare eyes. Both we equally reject. Therefore, maivam abhavasya vishesha abhavat. Bare eyes, neither absence of light can be seen, nor your so-called positive entity darkness can be seen. A black darkness. They say it is, we say darkness is simply absence of light. They say it is a black darkness. But how do you say it is black? In the absence of light, color cannot be seen. Siddhanti says, in the absence of light, color cannot be seen. But Purvapakshi says, if color cannot be seen with bare eyes without the help of light, then even absence of light also should not be seen. Yes, we admit. Absence of light also is not seen with your eyes. Because with neither absence of light is seen, nor a black darkness is seen. Neither is seen, because in the absence of light, eyes don't see. That is, eyes don't see. That is a simple reason. Eyes do not see in the absence of light. They see neither absence of light nor your black darkness. Neither your black darkness nor the absence of light which we accept, nor the black darkness which you accept. Neither of them, neither the black darkness which you accept, nor the absence of light which we accept, neither of them can be seen with your bare eyes without the help of light. Without the light. Therefore, abhavasya chakshar vishayatvam, abhavasya chakshar vishayatvam sambhavati, because an absence cannot be seen with your eyes simply because it is absence. Simply because it is absent. An absent thing, how can you see with your eyes? Whether with light or without light. With light or without light, you can't see. Because it is simply absent. See, not able to see is called absence. Absence doesn't mean you are seeing something with your eyes. Absence doesn't mean you are seeing something with your eyes. Unable to see is called absence. Eyes are unable to see, then it is absence. Your ears cannot hear, therefore you call absence of sound. Do you say, I am hearing the sound, I hear the absence of sound also? See, with your ears, do you hear a sound and do you hear a silence also? Silence is not hearing. When there is no hearing, you call it silence. Silence is not hearing. Not being able to hear is called silence. Similarly, seeing a form is perception of the eyes. When eyes are unable to see, that is called darkness. That means eyes are unable to function. When eyes do not function, that is called darkness. It doesn't mean that eyes are functioning and unable to see an object there, therefore that is called absence of light. Absence of light is not perceived by eyes, nor a black darkness is perceived by eyes. Eyes perceive neither the black darkness which you accept, nor the simple absence of light which we accept. Neither of them can be seen with your eyes. As I told you, the second chapter is complicated because when we are arguing with the Mula Vidyavadin, Mula Vidya books are full of this kind of arguments. Because this is a bare logic. Logic, keep on. Because these are all theories. Ideas put up through arguments. Therefore, of course, not all. Some of them here, after this one page, I think a few 2 or 3 paragraphs, now something useful, something more meaningful, something more interesting to our anubhava, something good will come. But here you have to have a patience to listen to in between a few points. Okay? At least Swamiji makes it more interesting and keeping with anubhava. I think this paragraph is over. Tadittam nasti tamata pratyakshata. Now ultimately he says, Nasti tamasah pratya. Did we do these things? I think this paragraph we have to do. Tadittam nasti tamasah pratyakshata. Therefore, there is no question of perception of darkness. You can't perceive the darkness either as a black colored one, or as an absence of light. Neither as an absence of light nor as a black colored substance you can't perceive the darkness. Darkness is not something which is perceived with your eyes in the absence of light. As Purvapakshi says, the eyes fail to see. The failure of the eyes to see is called darkness. Okay? Failure of the eyes to see is called darkness, because light is inevitable for the eyes to perceive. Light is inevitable for the eyes to perceive. In the absence of light, the very eyes fail to function. The failure of the eyes to function is called darkness. We call it an absence of light. See, when we say absence of light, Purvapakshi imagines that absence of light is another substance, as if we are talking as a substance. Just as they are talking as a colored, darkness is a black substance, they impose on us that we are talking that absence of light is perceived by eyes. We have not told, don't impose anything on us what we didn't say. We did not say that absence of light is perceived by eyes. We say when the failure of the eyes to perceive anything is called darkness. Abba. I think we'll stop it. Okay, I'm in the middle of the sentence. Tasmat tamah pashyamiti loka vyavaharasya mukhyatva anupapattehe aloka abhavaha eva ayam upacharika prayoga iti mantavyam. I think I'll stop with this sentence. Therefore, though people say, oh, it is all dark, I am seeing the dark, they say, I am seeing the dark, it is only a secondary, is a figurative expression. Is a figurative expression for the failure of your eyes to perceive. It is the failure of the perception, failure of visual perception is called as if you are perceiving darkness. People use some language, we use commonly some language, but don't go by the language literally and say that there is something positively present. Okay? In this next paragraph we have started, we have just a little summarized the previous paragraph. I remember vaguely in my last talk that this opposition, the concept of opposition, Purvapakshi has given various arguments, Siddhanti has refuted them. I shall summarize them and proceed. I summarized it, and to proceed with the next one sentence only I touched. Next I think we will see. Today is Wednesday, I think Thursday, Friday, one more day we may see. So I am going to Bangalore this Sunday. I don't know, few days, first some days may not be possible, but some days I don't know whether we shall be able to do, depending upon my health and all other things. I am going to Bangalore Karyalaya this Sunday, so I may, if time permits, I may do something, then we will see. Otherwise, we will take a long holiday. Long means around 15-20 days. When I come back to Holy Narasimhapura, we can continue. Anyway, one more day is there. Friday we shall do. Day after tomorrow. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.